Hosea Giannis joined the SABC News Division in 1986, then called the state broadcaster. He went on to serve in different positions in the news department over the years. When democracy dawned in 1994, he was one of the first journalists to work in Parliament. He takes us down memory lane on how his career started.
I was in the news department at Auckland Park. That's where I started. There was a section that was responsible for all the African, radio stations. They used to call it, SWART Radio Dance Division. I worked for that division. We were supplying all the radio stations with news when I started as a junior journalist. And from there, then I occupied a number of positions in the SABC. I first became a biomedia. I think at that time it was biomedia. It was called biomedia reporting for both radio and television. It was quite interesting at that particular time when we started. We were using the reels for radio. Those reels, you'd have a tape, a splicing tape, and a cutter you'll cut. I mean, those big, reels. I think at that time for television, they were using Betacam.
Vusi Sibia worked for SABC News Mpumalanga as a news compiler.
I have many fond memories of the SABC. But one that stands out for me was, I don't know if you will remember the floods in 2001, where we were hit with something that we had never experienced before. It was not long that I moved to Mpumalanga, where we went in Mozambique, and then you remember the story of the girl that was born in the tree. It was something that I had never experienced in my life, and then. The other one, while still as a trainee journalist, was the Vaal Reefs mine disaster, where I think we lost 34 miners when one of the shafts, the Mankalanye, kind of collapsed in the shaft, and it was tragic. And for a young man, I was really it traumatized me for quite a while. Journalism had its own good and bad, because I'm not sure if they provide any counseling for you guys, because it can be traumatic sometimes, the kind of things that you see as a journalist, and especially maybe growing up and all that. But it has raised us. I think I became a better person in terms of understanding people, communicating better, because of the training that I had at the SABC. I was there for 10 years, and it has been just wonderful. But it has also spoiled my driving. I because of the issue of having to reach the office and of deadlines, I really still, 10 years later, I still can't slow down, because I'm used to that thing of running to get to the studio, and then packaging, putting together the packages, then sending it out. Yeah, I still struggle with that. But I had very fond memories of the SABC, and I really want to congratulate the SABC and thank them for the opportunity.
George Mtetwa, who is now Mpumalanga government provincial spokesperson, says the SABC opened doors in his career.
To work for a public broadcaster, which had a footprint the whole country and even beyond the borders of South Africa. One of my best highlights was to travel. The SABC gave me an opportunity to travel. I went to Swaziland. I know Swaziland like the palm of my hand. Similarly with Mozambique. Of course, there were some challenges in Mozambique, as you know, the language barrier. But it was quite fascinating to the extent that we even built a strong friendship. I still have friends to that effect, just because of the SABC traveling around. But the other exciting part is that I met great people. I met Mandela. It's a rare opportunity. I met the president of Mozambique. 75 years of news coverage and broadcasting. It's quite amazing. The SABC has produced the best in terms of talent. The journalists, the production team that I've worked with on both radio and TV, by the way. So wish the SABC a happy 75 years. Let there be another 75 years beyond this. Happy SABC. Happy SABC.
Nhlamulo Mabasa, SABC News, Mbombela.